let's move on to the next point, which was
going over each game.
Just going over each game. We're gonna briefly go over our predictions for which, like, were they right or were they wrong. The Jaguars, to start off, Jaguars at the Bengals. It was Thursday night
great
football.
Game.
Yeah, we both predicted the Bengals to win. Although, don't get fooled by the Bengals being 3-1. They struggled against the Jaguars team at home. They're not good. They're not ready to win yet. Although they have potential to be a good future team. Washington at the Falcons. Travis predicted the Falcons. I predicted Washington. I still don't think either of these teams are going to be playoff ready. Washington's defense doesn't look as good right now. You could say that. Travis,
Yeah,
this was Travis's big prediction. Was
I
Washington's
thought Chase Young was gonna win Defensive Player of the Year.
But right now at the moment they're not looking too great. Taylor Heineke's playing nice though, so credit to that Washington team. The Bills hosted the Texans and obliterated them 40-0, and we kind of went over the Bills.
Yeah,
already.
I had them as lock.
Yes,
and
we both had them as lock, and we know why. The Bills are playing at the highest level right now, just absolutely on a tear, and we'll see this next week.
Suck, and they're the worst franchise of all time.
Yeah.
Be ready to get rid of the entire franchise pretty soon.
Next one, Lions at Bears. Just want to mention,
oh my God,
Justin Fields played solid in his second game. So credit to Justin Fields. He actually
I did not watch.
He looked solid as a passer. Actually, he looked much improved. I predicted the Lions because I see them as competitive, but the Lions just suck. I've realized that now. The Bears won. Travis predicted the Bears to win, so good on his part. This one, Panthers at the Cowboys. I kind of went over it already. First of all, I still think the Panthers are a solid team and could definitely be a wild card team. I'm really impressed with how the Panthers look. Yes, did they get exposed a little bit against the Cowboys? Yes, but I'm not going to blow that out of proportion.
They didn't get dominated.
No, they didn't get dominated. And I still think with Christian McCaffrey, who's a game changer.
They didn't even have him.
They didn't have him. When healthy, that's a team that is dangerous still. But more credit to the Cowboys, who look great on both ends, in my opinion.
They do.
Defense and offensively.
Got to talk about DJ Moore. Because DJ Moore... I thought Robbie Anderson was wide receiver 1. No. But DJ Moore is actually a really good receiver. He also played a little bit of running back for them. They use him the way that you should use your star player.
100%.
And he's going to be great for the future.
Most underrated receiver in the league. Colts at Dolphins. The Colts finally get their win in Miami. And all hell is breaking loose in Miami right now. Offensively, it is just not there at the moment. Thing is, too, is we don't know if when Tua comes back, if he's really even the answer. So now I know the rumors are picking up that they might trade for Deshaun Watson, and I will say this, he's their only hope right now. He's their only hope. You better.
But who knows how good Deshaun Watson's going to be when he comes back.
Well, I don't think the concern is Deshaun Watson being good. We know he will be.
We know what the concern is.
It's the off-field issues that are the most concerning, which is why I guarantee you that that's the reason why the Dolphins haven't made their move yet to go for him. But the Colts got their first win. Good for them. I still think they're a better team than their record shows. But let's see this upcoming week. Vikings at the Browns. I marked that I really just wanted to talk about just for a brief second. Kirk Cousins needs help with that O-line, first of all.
Your boy Kirk, man. What's up with Kirk?
Hey, he didn't play horrible. But also I will say he played probably his worst game of the season so far.
Just a casual game for Kirk Cousins.
No, it was not. But either way, Kirk Cousins, it was kind of rough offensively. They couldn't get going. But more so, this is the second week in a row now where that Browns defense has looked elite. They've looked like they've been playing.
We already knew this.
But remember, we even said in week 1, we think that defense will develop into, My only problem is now the offense hasn't continued on that same pace that it looked when it started. Baker Mayfield
It's just Baker, because Nick Chubb is still doing solid.
Nick Chubb is doing his thing. In the end, Baker looked so good in that first game, and he's been off again. Probably for the worst game of his career, to be honest. 15 of 33 passing and 155 yards. Rough game for Mayfield, but we've seen Baker play at a high level too. If Baker gets back his consistency, which is why I still said the Browns could definitely move up in the top 10 listing. We just have to see. Giants at the Saints.
That was a great game.
The Giants, who again I still predicted them to be my division winner. I'm stuck with it. I'm stuck with that decision, that prediction early on in the year.
I was gonna say.
Now I know who's looking like the favorite, but the Giants. That was the Giants team I was expecting to see a lot earlier.
Yeah. Saquon came through in the end.
And Daniel Jones looked good.
Giants, you guys, we all know that the Saints suck.
And now we do.
Yeah, we didn't know that back then in the first week.
Although here's the thing, we could say this still. There's still a possibility that maybe the Giants have figured something out, because I still believe that they're a team that can have talent there. We'll see. But the Saints, it's a little worrisome, especially losing at home to open up back in the Superdome.
Yeah.
Titans at Jets. Oh my God, they're not even. Let's say this now. Tennessee's not a contender.
It's over.
The offense is not the problem. It's not. We knew A.J. Brown and Julio Jones were not playing this game. The defense is an issue, man. It sucks. Frankly, it's one of the worst defenses in the league, if not the worst.
I think it is
the worst. You let Zach Wilson just absolutely dissect you. The secondary is just it's not good at all. And you're not getting any pressure on the quarterback. So that's the main thing. You don't have any. Do you have any?
No, I don't really care for this game. The Jets suck. The Titans suck.
Next one, the Chiefs went into Philadelphia and did what we expected. The Chiefs got back in rhythm.
Yeah.
Nothing more to really
struggle a little bit because of the points scored, but
yeah.
The Chiefs...
Again, the defense was concerning, but the Chiefs offense looked back in rhythm. Cardinals at the Rams. We explained it a little bit earlier.
Game of the week,
and Arizona just looked strong. You know, they came in and just one thing I got to say. I always said Cliff Kingsbury was the one holding back that Cardinals team, except Cliff Kingsbury outcoached who I still believe is the best coach in the NFL right now, Sean McVay. So if Cliff Kingsbury keeps, being consistent like that with his coaching schemes, this Cardinals team is a hard team to beat. And they so much credit to Cliff Kingsbury for coaching, I think, the best game of his career.
That was a great game because honestly, the Cardinals and the Rams, nobody knew who was gonna win this game because it was kind of like these are like the two best teams that we've seen right now, and the Cardinals didn't have a struggle at all. They didn't struggle
offensively.
On defense.
They had their way with the Rams defense. So again, credit to that offense, that defense. It's talented on both ends, but the coaching is what is impressing me right now about the Cardinals. Let's see if that stays consistent. Seahawks at the Niners.
I'll let you just... Yeah. I'm going to be quiet, guys. I'll be back. I'm going to go.
I have some things to say. First of all, Seattle got back in rhythm a little bit offensively. Again, though, I want to say this to Seattle. Seattle's not a good team. I think you can agree with that a little bit. From what I saw in that game and the way the Niners pretty much shut down Seattle's offense in the first half almost, I still don't think Seattle is a true playoff team. But that's enough. That's enough for Seattle. The real issue here is the Niners. It's the offense. Actually, I want to say this. The defense played great, I think. Especially how they looked in that first half. Wilson was under pressure. He was under duress. He couldn't move the ball down the field. I think Seattle only had about 20 yards of total offense in that first quarter. Seattle could get nothing going offensively. But you know what the problem was? Is the fact that the defense had to keep going on the field, keep coming back after 3 and out. And even the secondary played good. Kirkpatrick played a good game. Mosley looked good against DK Metcalf. So credit to the Niners defense. The problem is just everything surrounding the offense at the moment. Trey Sermon looked good, actually. The run schemes were working. The problem is the passing game. And I know people are going to say it's Garoppolo's fault. But I don't think it's 100% on Garoppolo. I really don't.
I think both of you guys' quarterbacks are trash.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to say Trey Lance is trash because he's a rookie, and
he's not going to be a Justin Herbert. 100%.
Well, no, I wouldn't even say that. Remember, we see Peyton Manning. He's the one I'll always go to. He's thrown more interceptions than he did touchdown in his rookie year.
I'm saying that he's not going to have a Justin Herbert rookie year. Like he's not. I don't think
100%. 100%.
That's out of
Here's
the way.
the thing about Niner fans. I want to just say this right now. Trey Lance is not ready. I never thought he was. You know why? Because he never played in his last year of college either.
Yeah, he barely played.
We drafted Trey Lance as a project to develop him. We should know this.
Still, we have to note this one more time, Joe. I have to say this every time we talk about this. I still don't understand the whole aspect of trading away the future to win now, but you get Trey Lance for the future.
I think what the main goal is here is that obviously Trey Lance by next year should hopefully be ready to play.
Hopefully.
And here's the thing. The one thing I will say, though, is maybe let's see if Trey Lance, this upcoming week, if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't play again because it was a calf injury. If Trey Lance plays this week, with the game plan being made for Trey Lance to support him, does this offense move better with Trey Lance? Because here's the one thing I want to comment. When Alex Smith got hurt way back when, and Colin Kaepernick came in, Colin Kaepernick didn't look too great. He just looked viable. But then what I got to say is the next week on Monday night versus the Bears, and Kaepernick was the definite starter, and Jim Harbaugh had time to make a game plan for Kaepernick. Kaepernick played lights out, and then he became the Kaepernick that we knew for that 4-year span. So let's see. But the one thing I got to say is it's Garoppolo actually looked good in moments, and I think it's my main problem is Shanahan, and I think the play calling is bad. I think it's bad. I think especially in the passing game, we're not doing any plays to get the ball in our playmakers' hands. We're not setting up plays for George Kittle. We're not really setting up plays to get Ayuk in rhythm. Debo's
going crazy, though.
Going crazy, so Debo's doing his thing. But even then, it wasn't built around Debo Samuel. We're not trying to get the ball to our playmakers' hands, man.
I do have to ask you that. I did have a question.
Go.
Is Debo this year top 15 wide receiver?
So far, yes.
Are you gonna move him over anybody that you had last year? Is that possible? Because this is the beginning of the season. He's leading the league in receiving. But is he a top 15 wide receiver?
I'm trying to think of
15 is a lot.
15 is a lot. I would put him at 15. I would.
Right in that area.
Right in that area, yes.
All right.
100%. Right now with how he's looking. Last thing again, Shanahan right now, he's got to be in the doghouse at some point. Because here's the truth about Shanahan. Besides that one Super Bowl year, what has he really done as a Niners head coach? And I know there's been injuries and a lot. But for being an offensive genius, that offense cannot be shut down to 7 points against that horrible Seahawks defense. And the passing game, the routes, I see it all the time. It's just 5-yard hitches. It's just something over the dangerous throws over the middle.
It's not working.
We don't spread out that offense. We don't have creative pass designs. It's just Shanahan. It's not there right now. He's so conservative, and I don't like that.
But yeah, I think the Niners. You guys just got to tap into the potential that y'all got. Again, and we'll see what goes on.
And Garoppolo's getting a lot of the shots that should also be aimed at Kyle Shanahan right now. That's what I'm going to say. Ravens at Broncos. Oh, we kind of mentioned. First of all,
we kind of talked about it, but he's having a great year.
Yeah,
he's an MVP candidate for me.
Yeah. Yes, 100%. And the Broncos. I came back down to reality. Here's also the one thing I wanted to say to all the little Broncos fans that I've been hearing that's saying we should have started Drew Lock. No. There's a reason Teddy Bridgewater is starting, and we saw when Drew Lock
made the defense of the Raiders last year look great.
Yes, and I know why they're saying it. They're like, oh, Drew Lock should play because Drew Lock, he still has potential. We should let this see. No, he's not going to win you games, and he's not a top NFL caliber quarterback. You're good with Teddy Bridgewater. But this Broncos team is still, I would say, despite being 3-1, they're the worst team in this strong AFC West division.
Yeah, they're the worst.
Yeah, Denver is just, they're just all right. They're just all right. On the other hand, Lamar Jackson playing at an MVP level in this Ravens team is starting to figure themselves out a little bit despite the injuries.
Yeah.
Steelers at Packers. The Steelers suck. The Steelers suck. Like,
Ben
you guys
Roethlisberger is definitely struggling.
This offense,
he
would you
really
say?
Do anything.
Would you say it's the worst offense in football?
It can't be worse than Zach Wilson, to be honest. Zach Wilson's pretty bad.
Well, here's the thing. The one thing I got to say is even the Jets had a better game than we've seen from the Steelers at any point in this year.
I understand, but they don't have a Najee Harris.
True.
They don't have nobody on that level. So
I know they got the talent, but they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So in the end,
they're definitely in the bottom, though.
For me, yeah, I think it's the worst offense in football. And the defense is just, they're playing all right, but they're not playing as good as they looked in that first game against Buffalo. They have kind of lost their consistency a little bit defensively. And Packers, back in rhythm a little bit. Randall Cobb and Aaron Rodgers, that connection was rejuvenated on Sunday. So the Bucs at the Patriots. In interesting. The Bucs did not handle that game as strongly as I expected, but like Travis said earlier, the hype and the build-up to that game, sometimes it can get to you a little bit. I obviously got to Tom Brady.
And Bill Belichick knows Tom Brady like the back of
his
hand.
Here's the thing. So. I think what it proved in that game is, first of all, Bill Belichick is still a great coach.
Yeah.
And as a defensive schemer, he was able to shut down Brady. Biggest thing, though, for me is Mac Jones looks good.
He does.
Like, really good as a rookie. He's poised, and I think
he was a good choice.
People are right. He's the quarterback most ready to win now.
Yeah.
If you have a team,
doesn't have the most potential.
No.
But if you need someone right now
to win games right now at the moment, Mac Jones is the most pro ready.
That's who I feel like you guys should have got. In all honesty.
So again, yeah, but because people have been saying that maybe we should have went for Mac Jones. He would have been ready now to play for us. But in the end, what I think is, I like what we have with Trey Lance, and I like that Trey Lance has the most upside of any quarterback in this draft class, I think. And Trey Lance could really turn into something, and I like that we went for him instead. But yes, of course, if we were more focused on winning now, we maybe should have gone with Mac Jones.
Mac Jones is the best rookie quarterback that there is
right now.
Yeah.
Next one, Raiders at Chargers. I imagine you want to say something about. I don't want to say anything about the Raiders. I kind of said that you guys still look solid, and I like the fight that I saw. But I'll let you go into.
So, definitely in this Raiders game, I already predicted that we were going to lose this game. Because the Chargers are a great team. They are a great team. You can't deny that. And Justin Herbert's look great.
Mm-hmm.
Simply, like I said, Derek Carr, he could play better than any quarterback. He could play worse than any quarterback. This was one of them games where he played worse.
Yeah. And
you could see we also have struggles in the O-line, so you can't fully blame Derek Carr. But Josh Jacobs couldn't do anything because of the O-line. Kenyon Drake can't do anything. Derek Carr couldn't do much. So the O-line is definitely an issue. We need to get an O-lineman because that's the only
That's
real
at the
issue.
forefront of your problems.
That's the only real issue that we have on this team.
Actually, your receiving core with Braylon Edwards, Henry Ruggs.
Henry Ruggs is
healthy,
great.
is being that speedster that we all know he is. He's a dangerous deep threat.
And he missed, Derek Carr missed Henry Ruggs on the pass. That could have been a touchdown.
Could have been a touchdown. Would have changed the game a little bit. And Darren Waller.
Darren Waller, of course, but he gets double-teamed a lot now,
mm-hmm.
and teams primarily focus on him. That's why you see Henry Ruggs and Bryan Edwards have great games. Oh, also, Hunter Renfrow. I just got to talk about this one little highlight right here. When he knocked that dude out, I almost jumped out of my bed, and I was like, you cannot be serious. Because he's a dog. I just love him. He's the definition of a Raider to me, and he's got to be one of... He's not our best player, but he can be sometimes.
Well, he played like your best receiver
this
game because he was really the main catalyst for moving that ball down the field when the Raiders got back in rhythm in that second half. But again, I wouldn't over-exaggerate. I still think the Raiders are a solid team. Defensively, too. Your main issue, first of all, your defensive line is still solid. You were putting pressure on Herbert all day. It's just that Justin Herbert was a good enough quarterback to deal with that pressure.
Scramble out.
To deal with that pressure. The main problem is the secondary, though. There's issues there. There's kind of...
Damon Arnett is terrible. Yes. Let me tell you guys this right now. Damon Arnett is one of the worst corners you will ever meet in your damn life. And on top of that, we also have Casey Hayward, who is getting older. So he's not going to make the same plays that he used to.
He's not playing as the same Casey
Hayward.
Hayward.
But he can still play great sometimes. Yeah. Trayvon Merrick is also young. And Jonathan Abram, I think he's our best DB besides Trayvon Moore.
Yeah. One thing I got to say, again, is really just more... I think it was more on the Chargers. That defense looks great. Asante Samuel Jr. as one of the DB spot. Joey Bosa. Derwin James. It's looking like an extremely solid defense. And then just to pair it up with that firepower offense.
Yeah.
With Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Jalen Guyton even as the third receiver. You got Jared Cook, who looked great against the Raiders as well. And then you had Austin Eckler, who's in rhythm right now. Yeah. And then Justin Herbert leading the charge.
The Chargers are a great team.
The Chargers are actually just a great team.
I think the Raiders will beat the Chargers next time we play them.
I don't think so. But we'll move on from that point. So that's to conclude week 4. We made our predictions. So far, based on it, I wanted to give you credit again. You picking the Cardinals as a guaranteed win has to be one of your best calls so far this year. That was a great call. I was completely wrong with that one. So, that being said, though, I still lead by 1, 44-43 so far at the point.
It's a tight matchup.
It's a tight matchup, though. So going into week 5, we could just burn through these right now because we've already said our main talking points for each of the teams. So let's start off. Rams going into Seattle for the Thursday Night Football game.
100% Rams. Even though the Seahawks won, they still suck.
I still think that defense is bad, and I still think offensively that O-line is bad. And now you're going to go against a much better Rams team.
Yeah, it's over.
That loss is more on the Niners. Jets versus the Falcons. It's a London game.
Yeah, this game is at 6:30 a.m., so no one's even watching this game. They weren't going to watch it in the first place. But
talk about really screwing the British over right there, man, with that game.
I got the Falcons.
Yes, I got the Falcons too. I don't think the Jets are still not that good. Patriots versus Texans.
The Texans just lost 40-0.
Yes, their morale is right now at an all-time low, and I think the Patriots actually have some things that they could build upon from that last game.
Yeah, so definitely Patriots.
Definitely the Patriots. Lions versus the Vikings.
Lions, Vikings is a little bit of a for me, but I'm going to go with the Vikings.
I'm going with the Vikings too, because again, I still think the Vikings are a better team than their record shows. They have played more tough opponents too.
Yeah.
Eagles versus the Panthers in Carolina.
Now, relook after this game. After I rewatched the Cowboys versus Panthers game, I had the Eagles at first.
Okay.
I gotta go with the Panthers.
Okay, cool. I'm glad, because I went with the Panthers and I have them as a guarantee as well.
Oh, they're a lock.
They're a lock. They're a lock to win this game. I definitely think this Panthers team is still legit. And I think they're definitely good enough to beat this Eagles team that is weak right now at the moment. Saints versus Washington in Washington.
The Washington football team doesn't have a mascot and they suck. I'm going with the Saints.
Still, I don't think the Saints are... I think the Saints are showing that they're not as good as we think. And actually, what I'm more impressed by is Washington's offense.
They actually have stepped up.
They've stepped up with Terry McLaurin. And they got, Antonio Gibson. And Taylor Heineke's actually playing nice. So I got to go Washington there.
I'm going to go bold here and tell you guys this. My offensive player of the year, Alvin Kamara, is going to win you a fantasy game this week against the Washington football team.
I believe he won't. Titans versus Jaguars.
The Titans better not lose this game.
No, they better not.
They better not lose this game.
Here's the thing. They lost to the Jets, but I think when they get Antonio Brown and A.J. Brown and Julio Jones back, it's a different story. So I still got the Titans because the Jaguars are still the worst team in football.
They better win this game, bro.
Dolphins versus Bucks.
Bucks as a lock.
Bucks, 100% the Bucks. The Dolphins they're not there right now. Offensively, it's a mess. Packers versus Bengals.
I got the Packers.
I got the Packers too. I think this will be the game where we finally see that the Bengals are legitimate frauds. Don't fall for their tricks, the deception. Yeah. Broncos versus Steelers.
Steelers, the Broncos they have a nice defense. Mm-hmm. And the offense of the Steelers struggles.
The offensive line will struggle with Von Miller and Bradley Chubb.
Definitely going with the Broncos.
100% going with the Broncos. I don't think the Broncos are a great team, but the Steelers are a horrible team.
Yeah.
Bears versus Raiders.
I definitely got the Raiders.
I got the Raiders as well. I don't think the Bears are
Bears don't really have any.
Don't fall for
they're a subpar team.
Yeah.
Not terrible. No. They're a subpar team.
Just because they beat the Lions, don't over-exaggerate it now. And I think this too. Justin Fields will struggle again. You know why? Because that Raiders D-line is just as strong as that Browns D-line. And we saw how that Chicago O-line was able to handle the Browns.
He's going to have a rough night.
He's going to have a rough game again. Chargers Browns. This is a big
game of the week.
This is my game of the week.
Wow.
Funny enough, this is my game of the week. This is the prove-it game for the Browns because the Browns have been off lately. This is a chance to get a good win against a good team. But I guarantee that the Chargers are going to win this game.
I got the Chargers. This is a lock?
This is a lock for me. I'm locking.
I chose the Chargers, and I'm a lock though.
I'm locking the Chargers to win this game. I think they're just an overall more complete team, especially with the way they're playing offensively.
Yeah, and Dak isn't going to lose to Baker.
You mean Herbert is not going to lose? Herbert's not going to lose to Baker. Giants versus Cowboys.
I was thinking of the next game. Yeah. That's why I said that.
Giants versus Cowboys. The Giants got a win last week. Could they get back in rhythm here and beat the Cowboys in Dallas?
No.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, I was a Giant advocate to start the season, but even I know right now the way the Cowboys are looking, they're looking like one of the best teams in the NFC right now. The Giants, I don't think, stand a chance.
Cowboys taking the dub.
49ers versus Cardinals.
I got the Cardinals as a lock.
Got the Cardinals as a lock too. I don't think I just think with the way Kyle Shanahan, with the way this offense is looking right now, Shanahan just doesn't seem to be in the right zone at the moment, and it's just the offense isn't there. Here's the one thing I will say: the Niners defense will play solid at first, and they'll get tired again because the offense is going to keep going 3 and out. It's bad. It's bad. Batten down the hatches because we might be in for a rough one, Niner fans. Bills versus Chiefs Sunday night. I was really thinking about putting this one as my game of the week.
This is also, there's 2 great games. This game and the Chargers game.
These are the ones and the Rams probably.
This game, I'm putting a lock on the Chiefs to win this game. Oh. Now this is why. Chiefs are 2-2. They can't lose many more games.
You got a point there.
And I think they know that. So they're going to go into this game and they're going to take this dub no matter how they need to do it. If they need to score 70, they're going to score 70.
You have a point, but I got to just say right now, the Bills are playing better than the Chiefs.
They are.
I think right now, at this point, I don't say like if they were to meet in the playoffs, I don't think the Bills get the Chiefs if the Chiefs are back in rhythm. But right now, where these 2 teams are at the moment, the Bills are humming right now. They're at their peak right now, and I think this is where they can definitely get the Chiefs in Kansas City. I got the Bills.
Okay.
The Colts versus Ravens on Monday night. The Colts, who finally got their first win and are still a solid roster, now go into Baltimore to take on the Ravens.
I got the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to get the double in fear.
I think it'll be a close game, but I do have the Ravens as well. I think
Lamar
in the end,
Jackson is just too much.
It's just the way Lamar Jackson is playing right now.
They really don't need anything else on that team. If you have Lamar Jackson, you can win a lot of games.
100%. So yeah, that'll conclude our predictions for Week 5. So remember, I do have the lead, and the rule is that if you get a guarantee wrong, you don't get extra points for getting a guarantee right. But if your guarantee/lock loses, you lose a point.
Yeah.
Which is what happened, I believe, to me last week, which is why I was down a point.
Yeah, and me and Joe, we try to have a bold one in there, so we just,
So we're not just kind of scapegoating, because we could just pick whoever plays the Lions every week, and we'll get that bold prediction. We don't want to do that, because that's not entertaining.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching this video.
Hold on. One thing I just got to mention at the end: NBA season's getting started up again with NBA preseason. So next week, keep a lookout. We're gonna give our season predictions with the standings, our championship winner,
who the championship winner is,
as well as the award winners. So we'll definitely be having that episode next week. But as Travis was saying, you could close this out this time if you think.
Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Heavily Contested, the greatest podcast on YouTube. And on top of that, I'll see you guys. Deuces.